For one more time this year, you are with the Match Night team on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town away at Championship leaders Coventry City, and with kick-off just moments away, let's join your commentary team with former Town captain Mick Mills back alongside Brenna Woolley.
Quite some atmosphere here tonight, the CBS Arena. Here we go, the final game of 2025 for both of these sides. One having come down from the Premier League this year, the other apparently destined for the top flight in 2026. And while the Championship title won't be won by either of these clubs this evening, a defeat for Town would surely rule them out of the race to finish top. It's a big game for both of these clubs. If Coventry avenge their rare defeat at Portman Road just over 3 weeks ago, they'll go 16 points clear of Kieran McKenna's man, while should Ipswich become the first and potentially only side to double Frank Lampard's men this season. What a boost that would be as we head into the new year with a couple of winnable fixtures on the horizon. That, though, is a tall order, given no away sides won here this season, and the home team will no doubt have an extra spring in their collective step after their 3-0 humbling in Suffolk earlier this month. Should be a good game, this one, and you won't miss a kick of our 47th and last commentary of the year here on BBC Radio Suffolk. And Mick, I think we're both looking forward to this game, aren't we, here tonight?
Yes, very much so. I think that everybody seems to agree that Coventry City have been the most successful team of the first half of the season, and they really have played some good stuff, and I was personally very impressed with them at Portman Road. They've gone away with a 3-0 defeat, but it's very difficult to sort of tell the story to people and say, well, Coventry weren't bad particularly in the first half, and probably dominated a large majority of that part of the game. They're a good side, so really it's all about, what our sort of aspirations are. If we want to sort of challenge Coventry for one of the automatic positions, there's no question we have to get 3 points today, because if we don't, then as far as I'm concerned, there's no way we can catch Coventry City. Before these two Christmas games had taken place, I thought 2 points would be a good thing to be able to gain, especially with the matches away from home. We got the one down at Millwall, and now just before this game is about to start, I would say if we can get another point to add to the Millwall point, that would be a good return, with the job against Oxford to be completed on New Year's Day. So, this is going to be a tight affair. Both teams are very, very capable. So it's whoever hits their form today have got the very, very best chance to win the match.
Yeah, a little busy period this for Ipswich Town. The second game of 4 in quick succession. They've got Oxford at home on New Year's Day, Thursday, and then Mick will be alongside myself down at Fratton Park this coming Sunday for Portsmouth versus Ipswich Town. This evening, though, it's all about the Sky Blues of Coventry up against the All Red once again of Ipswich Town. Town warming up in the half in front of us. We're to the left of the halfway line here at the CBS Arena. The goal line off to our right is a long, long way away. The Ipswich Town team then tonight, 4 changes from the draw at Millwall. One of them forced upon Kieran McKenna. Leif Davis is out through illness. We wish him well and hope that he can feature at Portman Road on Thursday. Jacob Greaves comes in at left back in his place. He's missed the last 7. We haven't seen him since his last away win, in fact, at Hull in November. The other changes out go Philogene, Kayuste and McAteer to the bench. In come Taylor, Eggerly and Clark. Clark was the star when we were here in February in the 4th round of the FA Cup, ran the show, scored a couple of goals in that 4-1 cup win. Walton in goal then. The back four, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and now Greaves. Matusiwa will play alongside Taylor in midfield. A 3 of Eggerly, Nunez and Clark across the park in support of Athon, who keeps his place up top. On the bench, Palmer, Burns, Young, Johnson, Humphreys, Kayuste, McAteer, Akpom and Philogene. Still no Sam Smodics as far as we know because of illness. A couple of changes made by Frank Lampard from the team that beat Swansea 1-0 on Boxing Day. Bidwell and Sims drop to the bench. Brow, the Spaniard, makes his full league debut at left back. Coventry currently on that Jay De Silva, first choice left back. He's serving the second of his 3-game ban. And Wright, it's almost the toss of a coin I'd imagine, replaces Sims up top. Same system as Town. Rushworth is their goalkeeper on loan from Brighton. A back four of Van Ewijk, Wolfenden, who we just heard from, about to face his former club, his boyhood club for the first time, Kitching and Brow Grimes will play alongside Torp. Grimes is the captain. Torp missed the Portman Road game through illness. He's had a good season on 7 goals from midfield. Terrific return. In front of them, Sakamoto, Radoni and Mason Clark. Mason Clark scored in his last 3, so he's in a rich vein of form. As I say, right up top. On the bench, Wilson, Allen, Sims, Kessler-Hayden, Bidwell, Latabaudiere, Eccles, Perry and Andrews. And as you might have gathered, the atmosphere inside here is almost deafening. It's electrifying. What a buzz around this club at the moment. It's memories for me personally of Portman Road in the late days of Ipswich Town's promotion, 18, 19 months or so ago, in those early games of last season at Portman Road. This is a club very much on the up with serious momentum under Frank Lampard. Kieran McKenna just mopping his brow off to our right hand side, hoping to beat Coventry for the 5th time in a row. He's had a real hold over Mark Robbins and Frank Lampard's side the last few seasons. Play underway, the two sides have switched around. Had a kick-off, Ipswich Town way off to our right-hand side, defending the end in their all-red. Coventry in front of us in sky blue. Town won a penalty, one of the earliest penalties in the club's history here in the FA Cup. I think it was given after about 30 seconds in the FA Cup earlier this year, converted by George Hurst. Not quite as hectic a start so far in this one. Town on the far side with Furlong, the right back, gives it short to Egley, tries to spin in field against Brow. That'll do his confidence the world of good. The young Spaniard who arrived in the summer, started a couple of their League Cup games early on, but we haven't seen, or Coventry City fans haven't seen much of him for a while. The ball lashed away downfield by an Ipswich Town man after the referee had given a throw-in on the halfway line to Coventry, hence the boos. The referee is Anthony Backhouse, last in charge of a Town game when they beat Derby on their way to promotion from League One a few years ago now. Flicked on by Egley to halfway. Athon gives chase. It's hooked forward over halfway by Wolfenden. Greaves gets on it. Out to this left-hand side, Clark goes after it. It's not quite quick enough, and it's a throw-in to the Dutch right back, Milan van Ewijk, underneath us.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an untidy start by both sides. Both teams are playing the usual system nowadays of 4-2-3-1, so no complications as far as that's concerned.
Kipre wins a header at the back to Clark near side. Cushions it infield for Matusiwa. He goes square inside the Ipswich Town half to Furlong, weighs up his options, then plays it first time down the line to Egley. Nice play from the right back. He's robbed though. Egley by Brow once again. It's going to be a good battle, I think, between those two youngsters over on the far side. Furlong gets the better of Mason Clark, gets the ball back to Shea, which he has to put his forehead on. It was bouncing awkwardly, didn't want to take any unnecessary risks. Furlong turns, belts it off for number 10, Mason Clark, and it's out for a throw-in right back to Town.
Well, this has been a really untidy start by both teams, and you can only imagine that might be a little bit of nervous tension, maybe.
Complete sellout. Over 2,000 Ipswich Town fans here for this. The ground holds, 32,600 or so. Not a spare seat in the house as Grimes, the captain, gets the ball up to the American right. 9 goals for him this season. Nice spin down the far touchline. Hadji right for Coventry, a little step over. Gives the ball back to Ephron Mason Clark, once of Peterborough. Challenged by Egley, helping back alongside Furlong. It's out for a throw-in to Coventry, which Van Ewijk has jogged the width of the field to take.
I can't believe they do this. This is, for me... Yeah, I know he's got a longish throw, but to go from right back to the left touchline to take it is unbelievable.
3 minutes gone at the CBS Arena, still goalless in this match between the team first and the team third in the championship table. Town with a win would go to within a couple of points of Middlesbrough, currently in second. Wolfenden making a nuisance of himself on the edge of the 6-yard area, being marked by Athon. All 10 red shirts back off to our right-hand side, trying to defend this first long throw-in of Van Ewijk. Forward he comes, arcs his back. It's travelled a long way. Double-fisted punch away by Walton, nodded back by Sakamoto. Walton takes a tumble, but Kipre heads it away. It's a far more dangerous throw than the Millwall defender had the other day, which is very loopy and weak. That was far better from Van Ewijk. Left footer forward from Rushworth. Darnell Furlong crumples to the ground. The referee in a good position to blow up and hand Ipswich Town the ball.
what's strange about the long throw is that they pay a lot of attention, particularly bringing the right back over to the left touchline to take it, but then they only put 5 players into the penalty area, which is a very, very low number.
0-0 live on BBC Radio Suffolk. It's the earliest of the evening kickoffs in the Championship. Dara O'Shea's having to do the work of a ball boy far side. He's about to take the free kick and he's been told he's got to jog back and knock the second ball off the pitch. Understaffed at the CBS Arena, perhaps.
Exactly.
But Wolfen are getting a little run in the Coventry team at the moment. First of all, in the absence of both centre-halves, Kitching and Thomas, who were ill on the same day. But now Thomas is currently out with a minor injury. That's why Wolfenden is playing to the right of Kitching, as we kind of expected. A couple of 1-0 victories in their recent games here. Good to see him doing well. Hopefully not tonight as much, though. As that long kick from Walton in the end. Far eyes out behind for a goal kick to Rushworth, still goalless.
Yeah, nothing's really happened on him. Nobody's really strung anything together, to be perfectly honest. You know, it's been a really sort of a bitty start. You know, I just wonder whether the players haven't really settled into it yet. It's a very important game.
Coventry targeting a 9th successive home win here tonight, yet to lose on this ground this season. Athon with a header down to the halfway line, and Egley they'll surely lose at some stage. Hopefully in a couple of hours' time we're reflecting on their first home defeat of the season. Egley on the right wing, running forward with the ball for Ipswich Town in all red, gets it in behind for Athon, wide right, should get this one, attempts the cross, comes off the covering midfielder, as was Grimes, who went with the runner. Town have won a corner.
Yeah, and that was another bad pass by a Coventry City player, and it gave the possession to Town, and Egley actually timed it perfectly. The run, he was waiting and waiting for the run to sort of just take him beyond a couple of players, and then the pass was really good to Athon.
Of course, no Leif Davis for Ipswich Town tonight, so Sindra Egley is on this left-footed in-swinging corner off to our left-hand side, which we're about to get a good view of. And it swings deep towards the far stick. Up goes Rushworth. Good hands by a very highly regarded young goalkeeper. And then underarm throws it to the right-hand side, and the Japanese Sakamoto. First time we've seen him with the ball. He's a good player. To Radoni, further forward down the right. In steps Furlong, covering the cross at left back. Darnell Furlong is an important toe-in.
Yeah, it's good play by Coventry. The corner that we took was swung into the 6-yard box. We had 6 players in there to compete for the ball. The goalkeeper took it brilliantly, and then his distribution was excellent down this right-hand side.
There's a good goalkeeper now, 24. Seen him play against Town in the past for like Lincoln and Swansea. He's had lots of loan spells. Carl Rushworth, former England under-21 squad member. Van Ewijk with this long flat throw into the Ipswich Town area, headed away well. That's a real danger. Out on the far side after the ball is Torp, the Dane. He loses out to Waller Egley. Egley up to the halfway line. Torp bites back. Egley's done very well. Tries to go crossfield, blocked off by Torp. So a handball from him. The referee's blown up. It's a Town free kick on halfway when Torp was trying to spring forward and threaten Ipswich.
I'm not sure what the referee's given here.
Torp is obviously arguing his case, so too his Captain Grimes. Looked like he'd won the ball fairly from where we are. We haven't got replay screens here at the CBS Arena. Something will install this summer, no doubt, if the club gets promoted to the Premier League after what will be a 25-year absence. Their wait's been longer than Ipswich Town's was. So for so long they were a fixture. 34 seasons unbroken at one stage in the Premier League from 1967 to 2001, or the top division as it was. Kipre to Greaves, bursting forward from left back. It's been a really good run from him. Tries to cut infield. It took 2 Coventry players to stop him, Sakamoto and Van Ewijk. Now it's Van Ewijk who digs out a pass up towards Ephron Mason Clark. He loses out to Darnell Furlong. Well done by the right back.
Well, Jacob Greaves, who we're playing at left back, that's one thing, you know, I had every confidence in him doing. He doesn't look as if he's going to be able to do the yardage from a full-back position, but he can.
O'Shea goes back to Walton. Walton passes that short to Taylor. Taylor tucks it from the D back into O'Shea in the penalty area. Way off to our right-hand side, Ipswich have the ball. You haven't missed a goal if you're just joining us 8.5 minutes in on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. This Town's final game of 2025. Matusiwa, one of the arrivals this year, gives the ball to Clark. Clark's tripped from behind by Grimes. Clark takes a quick free kick up towards Nunez. Play has been halted, the ball was rolling. Unlucky, the idea was right.
Well, I think actually it's Town who are beginning to sort of knit things together a little bit better than Coventry, so they are just edging the start of this game.
Yeah, they are. Matusiwa gives it to Taylor, back to Matusiwa. Of course, those two have played together a number of times this season. Whilst it's a change in there today, it's not what you class as a new partnership. Kipre turns to halfway, gives it to Matusiwa, forward to Clark, infield to Taylor. This is nice, promising play from Town. Taylor, lovely ball up to Athon, edge of the area. Too heavy a touch from him, but it does break back to Greaves. Greaves then finds Kipre. Town with a bit of possession inside the Coventry half of the field. Prompting and probing, looking for a way of breaking through the sky blue lines. Nunez back towards Matusiwa. Clark's involved again. Greaves is the out ball. He gets it from Kipre, wide left. In comes his cross, not the worst in the world. Headed by Athon at the goalkeeper. What a goal that would have been. Great cross in from Greaves.
Yeah, he's taken up some nice advanced positions, Jacob Greaves, and that cross was a really good one. It had plenty of swing on it, and it really won to trouble the keeper.
Long downfield from Van Ewijk, won by O'Shea. It's almost like a free hit for Greaves, because he understands that people know he's playing out of position. He can just play with a bit of freedom and relax, really, and have a go. And take a leaf out of Kramer's book from Millwall on Friday, a centre-half playing in a full-back position. He got really forward well for the Lions, and Greaves has done very well, equally so for Town so far. That was a lovely ball in from him on halfway. Clark towards Nunez, robbed by Kitching. Here is Redoni, who's a good footballer. He's crumpled to the ground under a challenge from Nunez. Play on, says the referee. Frank Lampard's not happy, but it looks like a good call from the ref. Taylor over the top towards Athon. Wolfenden's after it. Athon gets the ball ahead of him. Tries to play it against Wolfenden, who blocked it off and then cleared it out square. Wolfenden unhappy with the lack of communication from Rushworth.
Yeah, but that's for me, that's Luke made the mistake. He's got to deal with it first and foremost. He was a little bit lackadaisical. He never really sort of burst out of the blocks there at all. He was running within himself, and for me, that's a mistake against Azon.
Yep, spot on. Greaves with a throw-in for Ipswich outside the Coventry box, 0-0, gets it back from Taylor. Here is Clark. It's good from Town at the moment. They're the better team. Kipre 30 yards out, has a go, blocked off by Wolfenden, out as far as Taylor. Town keeping up the pressure. This is excellent. Clark inside the Coventry box, tries to dink into the stand. He's done very well with an improvised cross off the outside of his right boot, hacked up in the air by Redoni, not too far away. Coventry are under pressure. Greaves dinking it over down the line to Kipre. Excellent play from Greaves, well kept in by Kipre. Kipre wants to take on his man Van Ewijk. The ball certainly didn't go out of play. It does now for a corner kick to Ipswich. This is excellent from the away team.
Yeah, this is now beginning. You can now say this is a good start. We're sort of almost 12 minutes on the clock, and apart from maybe 2 of those minutes when it was really untidy by both sides, Town are without question the team that have settled best.
I feel that Ipswich Town have got to score when they're on top like this, because the chances are if Coventry get themselves on top at some stage, they will make Ipswich Town pay. This has been good from Ipswich Town. 12 minutes gone, they're still 0-0. The away side at the moment is the better of the two here at the CBS Arena. Corner kick to Ipswich, their second of the game. Jack Clark's first, he puts it into the centre. Up goes Greaves, headed away by Kitching as far as Taylor, who slices in an effort high and wide.
Yeah, it looks a tough old job for any goalkeeper, that. You know, Town actually put 6 players in the box. 5 of them were inside the 6-yard box, and 1 obviously was going to attack that box as well, and Jack Clark swung the ball into that area. And for any defender, goalkeeper, that's a difficult job to defend.
Town with 4 changes from the other day. If you're joining us 13 minutes into this goalless game, Davis, Philogene, Kayuste, McAteer out as Furlong gets the ball back to Walton. I'll tell you who's in a second. Walton clears up to the halfway line. In have come Greaves, Taylor, Eggly and Clark. Leave Davis out through illness. Wolfenden takes the ball on his chest, gives it to Grimes. Grimes is robbed by Nunez. That looked a bit light and soft, but the referee's blown up. It's a free kick to Coventry, and there aren't too many complaints from Town players.
Well, it's a confident little bit of skill from Luke Wolfenden to take it on his chest, but then I think that he sort of should have played his partner, his centre-half partner, the ball rather than that clever one to the midfield player.
215 Ipswich Town appearances over an 8-year spell for Luke Wolfenden. Had loans at the likes of Bromley and Swindon early on in his career. He became a regular for Ipswich in the promotion seasons. So you know exactly how much that success meant to the Ipswich boy through and through. Ephron Clark into the back of Furlong. Coventry far from having it their own way. Ipswich Town on top.
Given a lot of free kicks away, Coventry.
They are indeed. It's been really good from Ipswich Town. We're still goalless though. Matusiwa on the halfway line, gives it to Athon, touches it back to Taylor. Taylor first time high out to the left. Town have got a man down in the centre of the park. It's Athon. They're effectively playing with 10 as Greaves finds Clark. Clark can keep the ball in by the corner flag. Athon's back up on his feet and jogging into a central striking area. Clark pulls the ball back to Matusiwa, who has a dig but with no confidence whatsoever. He's won the ball back after Coventry partially cleared it. Matusiwa outside the Coventry area, goes back to Clark. It's goalless, running into the Coventry box. Clark's on his way, cuts onto his right foot and then shoots, blocked off. Might be a chance for Athon on the follow-up, maybe a chance beyond that to Eggerly. Eggerly battling in the box for it, turns it back inside the area. Nunez shoots, blocked off. Eventually Kitching gets it away for Coventry. Still second best. This is good from Town, but they have to score. Kipre coming forward for Ipswich Town. Coventry having to soak up an awful lot of pressure. Town with a fair few touches inside the Coventry area already. The crowd reacting positively, getting behind Coventry. They need them at the moment. Kipre yet to get a clear sight of goal though. Ipswich. Taylor tidies up onto the centre spot and O'Shea. Kieran McKenna will be delighted the way his team have settled into this game after Messi from both sides first few minutes. It's Messi again from Coventry far side. Town of a throw-in midway inside the Coventry half of the field.
Yeah, if you're a Coventry player, you'd be quite concerned about this start, really.
Furlong throws the ball into the air to Eggerly, who picks it up, back to goal, turns, hits, it goes up in the air, bounces by next to Wolfenden, nodded away by Kitching, not very far, won by Greaves. Clark brings it down, Sakamoto gets it away, anywhere will do. The Coventry again, it's with Kipre. Taylor to Greaves. Anybody not knowing the league table watching this game as a neutral would assume that the team in red were those that were hoovered up all the points in the first half of the season and were top of the table. Too far forward by Furlong, back to Rushworth, and that's much needed as far as Coventry are concerned.
Yeah, it would be, if you were in the Coventry side, you'd be quite concerned and you'd be just wondering what you've got to do to get some sort of control in this game, because it's not easy. Generally speaking, you have to go a little bit more direct and just get the game territorially right up the pitch with simplistic passing.
16 and a half on the clock, again given away by Coventry. Kipre is on it on the centre spot. Loose from him, straight to Brow. Brow along the deck, gives it straight to Matusiwa. Messi from both teams. Matusiwa finds Eggerly. And Nunez, the number 32, spins, turns it back to O'Shea. 17 played. Still no goals. But Town have done very, very well indeed. O'Shea trying to pick out Clark. In goes Kitching. Clark goes down. Free kick given against Coventry on halfway.
I just wonder whether he was actually going to book him then, but because it was a heavy challenge.
Coventry unbeaten here in the last 14 regular league games, 12 wins and 2 draws. They got 1 defeat in their last 19 regular league games here. That was against Burnley. As I say, it's 13 months since they last lost here to a current championship team. The only 2 teams that have won here since then were Leeds and Burnley. That's just how strong they are here. Town, though, are doing very well. Matusiwa, north of the centre circle, looking up, carries the ball forward 5-6 yards, tries to give it to Furlong, who'd got forward. In steps Torp. Grimes helps it on its way to the far side to Ephron Clark. Infield from Ephron Clark, straight to Athon. Very poor from him, the last thing Coventry needed. Ideal for Ipswich Town. Athon wide right outside the Coventry area. Tucks it back to Matusiwa. Most of the sky blue shirts have now got behind the ball. Kipre gets it in between the 2 lines to Clark. Taylor's available. Kipre once again. Seen a fair bit of the ball, more than Dara O'Shea. Because a lot of the work's been down this left-hand side from Ipswich Town's perspective, involving Kipre, Greaves and Clark. And for the moment, though, in the centre of the park, Taylor has it, almost intercepted by Rodoni. Ipswich again coming forward with Kipre down the left flank. Town must be now 80% plus in terms of possession. Infield from Taylor to Matusiwa, back to Taylor.
Yeah, they've got to be careful, Coventry, because if the longer this goes on, the better and better the Town players will feel. They would have come up here expecting a real...
O'Shea over the top to Egley. Flag stays down. He's beaten though by Brow. Brow goes back to Kitching. He wasn't ready for that. Kitching clears as quickly as he can. Intercepted by Furlong. Nunez wide right outside the Coventry box, gives it to Egley. Greaves had made a really good run, wasn't spotted. Taylor has it 30 yards from goal. Square blocked off by Thorpe, can't shoot. Nunez gives it to Clark. He might fancy a go. Wasted. Clark played the ball too far forward in front of Greaves, and it's out behind for a goal kick to Coventry.
Yeah, I agree with you. That run of Jacob Greaves was absolutely excellent, and if only the player on the ball could have spotted it, that would have been a wonderful sort of position to get inside the box. So this is a really confident display so far from Town. They've dominated the exchanges. Coventry have looked a little bit as if, you know, they're not sure what they've got to do, you know, which is very, very surprising.
The other thing about this Town performance after 20 minutes of this game, still 0-0 incidentally, the number of touches for every single player. Everybody has been on the ball. Ephron Clark's on the ball for the moment for Coventry, wide left outside the Ipswich area. Into the centre comes his cross, headed away by O'Shea. First bit of defensive work Town have had to do for about 18 minutes there. Headed out for a throw to Coventry. Now this will be a danger. Van Ewijk having a word with Grimes before he goes and takes it over in the far right corner of the CBS Arena.
Yeah, it's very close, 75-25% possession in favour of Town. That just tells you exactly what's happening in this first 20 minutes.
Van Ewijk drying the ball on his sky blue shirt over in the far right corner. All eyes on Christian Walton's goal line, very congested goal line off to our right. It's still 0-0 as the Dutchman comes forward, but then has to halt his run. Mr. Backhouse sorting something out inside Walton's penalty box. So Van Ewijk has to wander back to his starting position, tight to the advertising hoarding. The Coventry subs down in front of us, 4 of them out already. Frank Lampard, the manager, has disappeared out of view. Kieran McKenna, hands in pockets on the edge of his technical area. 0-0. Coventry lining up another one of these long throws. The referee blows his whistle. Finally happy with the shenanigans in the box off to our right. Here comes Van Ewijk. And it flies again, headed on by Grimes, nodded up by Radoni. Players there headed towards goal. It was from Ephron Mason Clark, but straight at Christian Walton. Walton throws it out to Jack Clark on the left wing for Ipswich. Infield, he gives the ball to Taylor. Taylor looks out to his right. Rather than passing it, he's driven forward through the centre circle. Taylor still has it. Then he finds Egley. Good play from Jack Taylor. Egley skips away from Sakamoto. In comes his cross. Might be a chance for Clark! Oh, he's hit it wide, but that looked destined for the back of the net. I was convinced that was flying in when he hit it. What a chance for Jack Clark and Ipswich Town. Yeah,
we did well there. We just got a little bit lucky with a ricochet off of a little bit of a tackle, you know, with Egley there. But then when Clark was set up, the strike is a really good strike, and you did feel that might go inside the post as opposed to outside the post.
A little big scoreboard off to our right. Liam Kitching got a yellow card for Coventry earlier on, which is a bonus, particularly as a centre-half in this game, I must admit. I didn't spot that. Radoni to Mason Clark on the left-hand side for Coventry. Radoni, low ball into the Ipswich area, well cleared away by Taylor, but it's pinged off one of his own players. Clark to Greaves. Greaves bursting forward. Ipswich Town on the counter-attack. Greaves has given it to Athon. Wolfenden gets back. He hasn't got the pace just yet. Athon inside the area. Saved by Rushworth. Off to his left-hand side. End-to-end stuff.
Yeah, good stuff as well. That's a good breakaway. We've been sort of dominating the play and sort of trying to break down a tight Coventry defence up to this point. That was a counter-attack, and we did equally as well. And you just, from that, I thought, is Asson quicker than Luke Wolfenden?
Certainly looked it there.
He did. It was a straightforward run for the ball, and I thought that Luke, who's been a bit casual early in the game, you know, trying to sort of play it within himself, and I always feel centre-halves can't play within themselves. They have to do the job 100% full stop. And on that run, I would have said that Athon was slightly quicker.
Torper's down at the moment. Got a little break in play here on that BBC Radio. Suffolk's not doing Coventry any harm, assuming he can continue. It's a rather timely break in play to just draw a halt to Ipswich Town's momentum at the moment. We haven't seen the Clark chance back, but it looked like a really good opportunity. At the time I thought he had to do better.
Well, here's an interesting stat from all of them whilst we've got this break, is that touches inside the opposition box, 3 to Coventry, 14 to Ipswich.
Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Town have been in and around their penalty area quite a bit. Torp's up on his feet. He's jogging off, so he's going to be all right. As play is about to resume. We've got 24 and a half minutes on the clock here at the CBS Arena. Town the better side, but nothing to show for it. Albeit if it stays 0-0, which we're not expecting, it would be a decent result for Ipswich Town. But really, I'd like to think they can get themselves ahead when they're so far on top. Rushworth with an unchallenged drop ball pretty much in front of us here.
Yeah, we've actually had 8 shots, but only 1 on target, whereas Coventry have only had 1 shot, but theirs was on target.
Rushworth has the ball. They've sent out near side Jake Bidwell. Not only because of an injury to Brow, if he were to be needed the left back, can't see that being the case. Taylor has the ball in the centre of the Ipswich Town half. He's enjoying himself, making the most of another opportunity. Taylor down the line for Athon, didn't need to hit it like that. Poor pass from Taylor, could have done an awful lot better there.
I think that would have been given offside, that one. The linesman on the far side, I think, was just waiting to see if Athon was going to touch the ball. He didn't, so it's a throw in deep in near the Coventry byline. Yeah,
it was poor from Taylor. Could easily have picked out Athon, and if Athon had wandered offside, he shouldn't have done. He was looking right along the line from the left wing. Van Ewijk with a throw that Greaves wins, chested down by Nunez, won in the end by Greaves. Little touch from Matthew Seward to Nunez. Grimes wins it back to Ephron Clark, twisting and turning, trying to get away from Furlong. Matthew Seward goes across to Ephron Clark, Mason Clark. Nunez back to Matthew Seward. Then O'Shea along the edge of the Ipswich Town penalty box, back to Walton towards halfway. Athon's going to try and run Wolfenden. Wolfenden's tugged on his shirt. Well, that looked like a yellow card. He's got away with it.
Slow making his mind up there, Luke. You know, he was I think he wanted to deal with it, then he thought there was enough pace on it to go through to the goalkeeper or his centre-half partner, and then he decided to do that, and in the end he was really all over the place.
Mason Clark upended far side, free kick to Coventry. You just wonder that little pause in play might have done for the momentum of this game. Coventry will be hoping for a swing because they were very much under the cosh. If you missed the first 25 minutes, we've played 27 now. Ipswich Town by far the better side. We really had Coventry rattled, swarming all over them, but just haven't capitalised by scoring. Coventry now with Grimes have this free kick, maybe not quite 18 yards inside the Ipswich Town half. Grimes comes forward, left-footed, puts it to the edge of the Ipswich area. It's bounced in the box. Greaves takes a tumble. Flag goes up for the challenge on Greaves by Wolfenden.
Yeah, it was a poor challenge, it really was. I mean, it was just a free kick given away, you know, you don't do that. And just see how good Jacob Greaves is at retrieving the ball close to his own corner flag and just test him out, don't just pull him around.
Town have it inside their penalty area with Dara O'Shea up to Clark in midfield. He controls it back to Nunez. Nunez goes square to Kipre. Kipre first time sees that Jacob Greaves is available on the halfway line in front of Kieran McKenna. Greaves has it once again. He's done well back in the team at left back. Greaves tonight for the ill Leif Davis. O'Shea back to Walton. Town have the ball in their defensive third. Off to our right hand side is back once again with Walton getting this thoroughly deserved extended run in the team, of course. Walton, every reason to believe the next time we'll see Palmer is in the FA Cup in a couple of weeks' time. Not even that now, is it? Just a week on Saturday, Blackpool at Portman Road. Clark challenges illegally on the halfway line. Torp takes a tumble. Torp takes the free kick quickly to Rodoni. On the right-hand side, Sakamoto. This is the first game between these two sides. The Japanese crosses, comes off the heel of Greaves, cleared up in the air but not away by Nunez. Sakamoto challenges him aerially. And then Sakamoto fouls Nunez. I just think he lost his balance and rather tripped Marcelino Nunez.
Yeah, well, if that was the Coventry little flurry, it's really nothing, and it's come to nothing, and they don't look together today. And Town have now got the ball back, and they do look together.
Dara O'Shea standing on the ball for Ipswich. Up to halfway, gets it to Taylor. Taylor goes back to Matusiwa. Nunez to Egley. Egley tries to release it first time towards Athon. Nunez then tries to bring Athon into play. Wolfenden comes away with the ball for Coventry. Out to the far side by Torp. Mason Clark then plays it off of Athon. Through in to Coventry City.
Yeah, you keep saying it's a good start, it's a confident start, it's one that you would dearly have wished for, you know, when you're sort of coming up to this game, but we do need to get some reward from it.
Coventry just one win in the last 8 meetings in the league between these two sides. Town unbeaten in the last 6 aways to Coventry in all competitions. A couple of those were at St Andrews, one of Coventry's temporary homes. They've been at Northampton and Birmingham over the course of the last 15 years or so. Of course, not that long since they were in League Two, just 7 years actually since they were promoted from League Two under Mark Robbins. They had 1 season in the 4th tier. They were promoted back to this level in the COVID season. They were top of the championship table when that season ended early. Van Ewijk touches the ball in field to Rodoni. Rodoni gives it to Kitching. Kitching running to halfway, out to the left-hand side. He's got Brow, the fullback. First time he's come forward on his full league debut. Back to Kitching in the centre. Kitching to Grimes, miscontrolled by Grimes. Sums up Coventry so far in this game. Out for a throw to Darnell Furlong. 14 minutes to go until half-time. We're still 0-0 as Wes Burns jogs along in front of us. Also out there, Chuba Akpom and Ben Johnson. Jayden Philogene having a chat to somebody who's got a snoot pulled way up over his face, the Coventry sub. Greaves, one touch back to Walton. Walton meanders out to the edge of his penalty area. Nobody's closing him down, so he's just standing with the ball in front of his feet. Eventually he goes out to the left and Kipre. Greaves offers himself up. Kipre goes forward, straight to Wolfenden though. Wolfenden control passes it to Sakamoto, who plays the ball off Athon. Out for a throw to Coventry. Frank Lampard retrieves the ball. He celebrated his 250th game in management at Portman Road. Frank Lampard, what a job he's done here. The throw from Van Ewijk is cut out by an Ipswich Town player. Taylor, excellent play from him to Matusiwa. Grimes steps across Matusiwa, who holds him down. Free kick on halfway to Coventry. The referee unhappy. I think the ball was moving again, so that'll be a retake. On halfway, it's with Grimes. Torp. Wolfenden now to Grimes. Grimes gives it back to Kitching. Kitching one touch back to Rushworth. Rushworth to Grimes under pressure from Egley, who'd come in field. Now down the left-hand side, far side, that's Brow of Coventry. Want to take on Matusiwa for pace, gets away from him easily. Good sliding challenge by Furlong. In goes Torp, out goes the ball for a throw to Ipswich.
They are coming back into it a little bit, Coventry, but I still don't see anything special about them. You know, they don't look anywhere near the team that got beat 3-0 at Portman Road.
No, they haven't been as good as that, have
they? They haven't.
Furlong's down, but he's up again before he requires treatment. He went down quite worryingly, as if something was really bad there, but is okay. Of course, Town have got both Young and Johnson on the bench. We don't want to see Darnell Furlong go off, but if there's one position Ipswich Town could afford to have to make a substitution in, it's the right back area. Walton gets the ball back from O'Shea. He's not been closed down by any Coventry players, so he's well within his rights to just hold on to the ball as long as he can. It's at his feet. Walton down the line, but onto the chest of Van Ewijk. He gives it to Sakamoto. Jinks infield, gets away from Greaves. Now wants to run away from Athon. Still Sakamoto. Great running from him. Good challenge from Matusiwa. Athon gives it to Clark down the left-hand side for Ipswich Town. He's got plenty runners in front of him. Still Jack Clark towards the Coventry box. Gives it to Matusiwa. Slightly goes behind him. He tries to find Eggley, blocked off by the Coventry defence. Out to Matusiwa again, who has a go but gets right underneath it. And it flies high over the bar.
No, that's not his forte, is it? But that was a good breakaway down the left-hand side. It had a lot of possibilities about it when it came down the left. It was a little bit, untidy when it reached the centre of the just outside the box, and you didn't really fancy Matazuwa when it went to him because he's not renowned for his shooting.
Town, one of only 3 teams so far to have kept clean sheets against Coventry, Hull and Leicester. The other, Hull 0-0 actually on the opening day of the season. Long kick downfield by Rushworth. Mason Clark trying to get the better of Furlong, who's taken a knock potentially in the face by a flying arm of Mason Clark. It's been in the wars the last few moments. Darnell Furlong. Another little break in play. 10 minutes to go until half time. Furlong's up and okay by the looks of things. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. As it was all afternoon on Boxing Day, it's still 0-0 here. Now Furlong's gone down again. No sign of Johnson or Young going out for a warm-up, so I'm assuming he's going to be all right. Literally just pulling up his socks at the moment, Darnell Furlong. He's okay to soldier on, the former West Brom man back in the West Midlands. Walton goes square to O'Shea, back to Walton inside his penalty area. Goalless as he gives it to Kipre. Kipre back to Walton inside his box. Coventry not really pressing Ipswich Town too much at the back, allowing them to play things around with relative comfort. Clark gets on the ball in the centre circle, plays that to the left towards Greaves. Greaves' first touch is good. Greaves comes in field for Ipswich, gives it to Eggley. Now it's Nunez, wide right outside the Coventry box, paces back, has a chance to weigh up his options before crossing. In the end he's given it to Furlong. Now Matusiwa. Haji Wright goes after him, back helping out defensively. Town now forced back with all 10 sky blue shirts now behind the ball. In the end O'Shea digs it up in the air again. Furlong's on the deck. Play continues. Grimes has the ball for Coventry. Town didn't make the most of it. Promising position. Ball's out of play on the far side for an Ipswich Town throw.
Yeah, they're really they're not right, Coventry. They really aren't. They're sort of they've got a chance to come back in the game now, but they just seem as if they're all new to each other. They're not knitting a thing together. They're no good down the left, no good down the right. They don't particularly look very good in the centre of midfield.
Long kick from Walton, that long it goes all the way to Rushworth. Full credit to Ipswich Town for making them play like this. There's Van Ewijk to Rushworth. Rushworth controls with his left, bangs up to halfway with his right. Matusiwa twists his neck and heads the ball back to Walton via Kipre. Kieran McKenna will be far the happier of the two managers. Happiest thing in terms of Frank Lampard's demeanour will be that it's still 0-0. O'Shea trying to play it downfield. Kitchen got a bit lucky, came off the hip of Wolfenden behind him and was inch perfect the way it went back to Rushworth, but Athon was lurking. Goalless, live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. We'll have full match commentary on Thursday. Match on air 2 till 6. Oxford United trying to double Ipswich Town. Managerless at the moment after the sacking of Gary Rowett. Matusiwa with a strong header forward. Clark in the middle of the field running at the defence, tries to get away from Wolfen, and Sakamoto comes back. Clark still has the ball, held up by Torp. Good play from Clark, goes around the back of the referee, gives it to Nunez outside the Coventry area. Now Egley on the right-hand side. Town deserve a goal, but can they get one? In comes the cross from Furlong towards Greaves. His header's at the goalkeeper Rushworth. When he made contact, I think Jacob Greaves probably thought that was going in.
Yeah, terrific sort of position to take up on the back post. And when you think that when Jacob Greaves is going into the penalty area, the only player he's bringing with him is Sakamoto, who is very, very small and can't offer a thing in the air in that position. That was a great bit of play by Jacob Greaves.
And even Van Ewijk is not 6 foot, the right back. Sakamoto's 5'7". I would imagine that Van Ewijk 5'9", 5'10" maximum. Greaves 6'2", so far post opportunities, if the delivery's right, should be there for Greaves against these two right-sided Coventry players. And luckily for Rushworth, that was straight at him, because he didn't see it until the very last split second. 6 minutes to go until half-time. Frank Lampard can't wait for those 6 minutes to disappear, I wouldn't have thought. O'Shea. Coventry there, still at 0-0 with Ipswich Town. Very good from Ipswich Town, bearing in mind the opposition they're up against. O'Shea back to Walton. Walton again on the edge of his area. Again, nobody closing him down, so he's totally entitled to hold on to the ball. Out to the right side, and O'Shea. O'Shea up to Athon. Athon controls in the centre, gives it to Greaves. Forward come Ipswich Town yet again. Clark's in behind. The flag has stayed down wide left inside the Coventry area. Clark pulls it back towards Taylor, who hits the bar. Terrific save from Rushworth. Athon goes towards the ball. It's still alive inside the 6-yard area. Jack Taylor so close to his first goal of the season, but it's out again for another corner kick to Town.
What a terrific attack. So unlucky there. I mean, that's one of those ones you normally sort of goes off the woodwork and down into the back of the net. We were very, very unlucky, and I mean, nobody seemed to know that the ball was still alive, and then there was this massive melee. Town players trying to force it over the line, Coventry players just trying to sort of offer some resistance to it. Ends up going for a corner kick, but what an opportunity.
Another one for Ipswich Town. You just fear the fact that they haven't scored in this first half. Comfortably the better side, Ipswich Town, might come back to bite them in the second half, particularly if we start that second period 0-0. That was a great save from Rushworth onto the underside of the crossbar. Didn't cross the line, then as Mick was saying, loads of bodies, both blue and red, on the near post as we look at things. And it was the Blues who managed to smuggle it out behind rather than the Reds over the line. Rushworth's back up on his feet. That's why there's been a little break in play, the obvious reason we couldn't continue. Clark on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. Home players narked that they believe the ball is outside the quadrant. Clark has pulled it back. The fans as well having a go, believing that Clark's trying to get away with a sneaky one. Clark on this corner kick for Ipswich Town. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Into the middle it comes, headed on the near post by Furlong, but out behind for a goal kick.
What a fuss over an inch. Really stupid that was, just leave it alone. The substitute down here, what on earth was upsetting him there? But this has been a terrific performance. It's just a shame at the moment we're not taking a lead into the dressing room.
Yeah, it really is. That's a worry. Rushworth, because Coventry will surely be better in the second half. Town have just got to go again and maintain this level, and if they can, they're in with a right chance of getting a win here, which will be their first in 5 away games. Haven't won on their travels since the 2-0 at Hull. Long kick forward from Walton. Athon's trying to get him behind. He's done well in the first half, Athon. He's certainly occupied the two centre-halves.
Yeah, he's made some good runs. I just think that we've got to be a little bit more careful. If I was Luke Wolfenden, I'd give myself another yard, just to make sure I'm always on the goal side of him. Greaves
with this throw-in in the team in the absence of Leif Davis. Greaves goes short to Clark. Torp brings it away but loses it straight to Taylor. Taylor has a shot. That one was always swinging away but worth a go. Town have had a fair number of efforts on goal in this first half.
Yeah, it was unlucky. It's the right thing to sort of, he seized on, got possession, he's had a shot, but you're looking at the Coventry pass there, was awful. You know, they've got possession and then they've given it away sort of only probably about, 25, 26 yards from their own goal.
Town with 68% of the possession, 11 shots compared to the 1 from Coventry. Doesn't surprise me, 4 on target from Ipswich Town out of the 11. Taylor shoved in the back on halfway, not given. 43.5 minutes played in this game, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. 0-0. Nunez has the ball. Grimes has gone with him. He's turned it infield to Egley. Egley tidies up by going back to Furlong. Furlong in turn finds Dara O'Shea. O'Shea then to Kipre, the left-sided centre-half. Hadji Wright has a nibble at him. Kipre is too big and strong, and then Van Ewijk, out of frustration, goes into the back of Kipre, and he's stayed down with Hadji Wright having a little word with Cedric Kipre. That's just frustration from both of those two players. Kipre should be alright to continue without the need for any treatment. Jacob Greaves is just checking the big man's alright. We're into the final minute of normal time at the end of this first half. The board is being readied off to our right hand side. A few interesting games in the Championship today later on. Leicester derby, Middlesbrough versus Hull. Norwich could move out of the bottom 3 if they beat Watford, although Watford are a decent side. Wrexham Preston, Birmingham Southampton could be a decent game. Southampton's recent momentum seems to have been checked of late. Walton, way out of his area with this left-footed kick forward for Ipswich Town. Athon's underneath it, but it's Greaves who heads it on all the way to Rushworth, who lets it go out behind. For a goal kick to Coventry City. 3 minutes of added on time
additional time
to be played.
Additional time.
A lot of work for Frank Lampard to do in those 15 minutes coming up. Rushworth, a couple of decent saves in this half. Rushworth, one in particular from Jack Taylor a few moments ago. Left-footed, they're not playing it out from the back very much, Coventry. O'Shea beaten in the air. Taylor for Ipswich hooks it back over the halfway line. One at the back by Kitching, nodded forward by Egley. Grimes just happy to hit forward for Coventry again, looking so disjointed. And again it's Darnell Furlong down on the far side. He's getting nothing in the way of sympathy from Ephron Mason-Clark, who just leant over Darnell Furlong and had words with him.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The ball is sort of hit beyond those two players, and then all of a sudden Furlong is down on the deck again. They've had a little bit of difference of opinion right from the start, to be perfectly honest. So I think it's, just 6 of one and a half a dozen of another.
Free kick at the back to Ipswich Town. Dara O'Shea to take it. 90 seconds of the added on 3 minutes to go. Still looking for our first goal of the evening here in the West Midlands. Greaves heads the ball in field towards Nunez. Nunez on his chest, gets it back to Greaves. Greaves tries to flick it into the area, which he manages to do, but it goes right through the area. It's a goal kick to Carl Rushworth.
Yeah, Jacob Greaves has done the right thing in attacking these two players down this side in aerial challenges. He's by far better in the air than either of them. And he's actually comfortable. He's comfortable coming high up the pitch. He really is.
1 minute to go at the end of this first half. Still a good atmosphere inside this ground, even with numerous seats temporarily vacated. O'Shea wins the ball well, then loops it forward. Wolfenden, little glancing header back to Rushworth. Calm defending from the number 26. And Rushworth is going to take his time, as much time as he's allowed, with the ball in his hands anyway. And left-footed, he bangs it high out to the far side. Egley shields it away from Brow for a throw into Darnell Furlong, who's being booed whenever he's involved. Furlong again with a throw into the centre of the field towards Egley. Egley takes it on his chest, then he's challenged by Sakamoto. The ball goes high on the halfway line, won by Taylor, belted forward again though by Kitching. Across will come Kipre. Kipre volleys it onto the chest of Sakamoto. That's it according to my watch for the 3 minutes, and the referee agrees. 0-0 between these two sides. Ipswich Town by far the better. Coventry City will be very, very relieved with this scoreline.
Well, this has been all about Ipswich, no question about it, and by far the better side. I'll tell you what, if the Coventry players go inside the dressing room and reach for a warm cup of tea, I think Frank Lampard would say, I think you better take a cold shower, because they need waking up. They really do. This is as bad as you could get, really. You would imagine this team we're playing today is low in the division. They're just offering absolutely nothing at all. So that was an absolute domination by Town. It really was. Every stat you can think of tells you the same story. It's people that are not here in this stadium would look at that. That's all they've got to go on. Back home, maybe other stats, and they would think, wow, Ipswich are doing well. Well, they are doing well, but they're not in front. That's the biggest problem, So you would expect that Frank could get in amongst the Coventry players and improve the performance, but that doesn't matter. That's away from, the fact is we've seen 45 minutes of this game so far, and it's been a terrific performance by Ipswich. Nobody is disappointed. Everybody's done their job, and apart from scoring, which with an ounce of luck they would have done, it's been a wonderful, wonderful performance.
Yeah, long may it continue. More of the same, please, Ipswich Town, just with a bit of more of a cutting edge with a bit of luck when they're attacking the goal off to our right-hand side in the second half. But they've been very good in the first half, albeit it's still 0-0.
Yeah, really good stuff from Ipswich Town. Let us know your thoughts if you've been watching tonight. 81333 to text them our way. 0800321 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with SFK. We'll be back with Brenna and Mick for the second half here on BBC Radio Suffolk. During our half-time break, we will get some reaction to one of Saturday's non-league derbies locally. A 1-0 win for Needham Market away at Leiston in the Southern Premier League.
3 days to go.
You cannot trust anyone.
That's a bombshell. I don't know how that's going to play out.
Happy new traitors.
This is twisted.
I have both the Jekyll and the Hyde personalities.
My heart is absolutely coming out of my chest.
Let me go to the dark side.
The new series of The Traitors starts Thursday night at 8 on BBC One and iPlayer.
It's Graham Mack with Match Night on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are with you till 9 o'clock, so we have the second half of Coventry City versus Ipswich Town to come. Goalless at half-time. Again, let us know your thoughts. 81333 to text, 0800321 333 on WhatsApp. Start your messages with SFK. Taking your calls at full time as well on the usual number, 0800 141 2121. We'll have more football for you in just a moment, looking back at one of Saturday's non-league derbies locally. The former world heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has been involved in a car crash today in which 2 people have died. The Nigerian government says those who were killed were male foreign nationals and were believed to be in the same car Joshua was travelling in Nigeria. He's been taken to hospital with minor injuries. Later in the programme, we'll hear from the BBC boxing commentator Steve Bunce. The pitch from the Ashes Test in Melbourne, which lasted just 2 days, has been rated as unsatisfactory by the International Cricket Council. The ruling means that the MCG receives 1 demerit point. Now, 6 demerit points in 5 years would mean the venue gets a suspension from international cricket. It's the first time a pitch in Australia has been deemed substandard since the ICC changed its system 2 years ago. Let's get more on this from the BBC cricket reporter Henry Moran.
Ideally, you want a game to go 3 or 4, ideally 4 or 5 days, and you want that narrative to build. But Test cricket is a varied and fascinating thing, endlessly fascinating. You just don't want repetition, and you don't want to turn up knowing what's going to happen. And in the same way, as you didn't want in the 1960s to know every single game was probably going to be a draw. You don't want to reach the stage in the 2020s and 2030s where you're thinking, well, day 3 is not worth buying a ticket for.
Meanwhile, Gus Atkinson has become the third England pace bowler to be ruled out of the Ashes series after confirmation he missed the final test against Australia in Sydney. He suffered an injury to his left hamstring on the second and final morning of England's win in the 4th test in Melbourne. The tourists will not call up a replacement, leaving Matthew Potts in line to play in the 5th test at the Sydney Cricket Ground, which starts on Saturday night. Nick Kyrgios and Arina Sabalenka are both keen to have a rematch after their battle of the sexes clash ended with victory for Kyrgios. The Australian beat the women's world number 1 6-3, 6-3 in a contest which saw both players only given 1 serve per point, while Sabalenka's side of the court was reduced in size. It was a match that failed to live up to the hype and was pedestrian at times, but former British player Annabel Croft hasn't ruled out there being more matches like this going forward.
I'm not sure. We'll have to see what the viewing figures are like. I mean, obviously it was a sellout crowd there, but it felt like the energy of the match kind of went away a little bit, sort of 3/4 or midway through the match. So we'll have to see. I'm sure it won't be the last time that we'll see something like that, but I think they need to definitely give the lady a first serve.
At the PDC World Darts Championship today, defeat for Suffolk's Ryan Meikle, the 29-year-old beaten 4-1 by Justin Hood at Alexandra Palace this afternoon in their 3rd round match. The 3rd round concludes tonight after the match between Josh Rock and Callan Ridds, with the 4th round starting immediately after that. The headline match tonight sees defending champion Luke Littler up against former world champion Rob Cross. Let's bring you some reaction now on BBC Radio Suffolk to one of the non-league local derbies that took place on Saturday. There was a big one at Victory Road in terms of the Southern Premier League race for the playoffs, as Leiston hosted county rivals Needham Market. Just 2 points separated the teams ahead of kick-off, but a 1-0 win for the Market men moved them 5 clear of the Blues and up to 4th in the table. Seth Chambers scored the only goal of the game on 76 minutes after Seb Dunbar had missed a first-half penalty for Leiston. Let's hear from both managers, Leiston boss Chris Wigger shortly after Needham's Tom Rothery, both speaking with Stephen Foster.
Tom, congratulations on a very hard-fought win.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's never... I told the lads before the game, I saw a stat yesterday, we haven't won here in the league since 2004, so it's about time we ended that run. So yeah, really pleased, really tight game, but yeah, I'm glad we've come out on the right side of it.
And a magical substitution by you in the second half.
Yeah, look, we've got a good 16 strong squad. Ben Hunter weren't available today through illness, but we believe in all the players. We brought Jamie in from Ipswich on loan, so we've got some real good quality and depth. And Seth started the last game, maybe a little bit, from his point of view, maybe he's a bit unfortunate not to start today, but he's done exactly what you need to do and react well and come off the bench and got us the winner. So yeah, I'm really pleased for Seth as well. He's had a bit of a tough spell really since he come back from a hamstring injury. So yeah, it'll be good for his confidence, and it's helped the team at the end of the day, so it's really important.
At that point, before he came on, I really thought the game was heading for a goalless draw. It was that sort of a match.
Yeah, with Seth coming on, we changed the shape and brought Max on, added a bit more width to the game, which helped us a little bit, but the conditions were really tough, weren't they? It was really windy and sort of made it harder for us in the first half to play, and it probably made it harder for them in the second half. So yeah, it was a tough game. There wasn't a lot in it, but like I said, we've come out on the right side of it, so that's obviously very pleasing.
And you're back here very soon, aren't you, in the Suffolk Premier Cup?
Yeah, we're back here in 9 or 10 days. So yeah, look, like I've said, that stat that I've said at the start of the interview, it's never an easy place to come. So look, that'll be another tough game, but we'll worry about that in 9-10 days' time.
And before that, you've got a home match, of course, against Sunbury, so another Suffolk derby, and they're always juicy affairs, there's no doubt about that. Yeah,
it adds more to it, same as the Suffolk Cup games do. Look, everyone wants sort of bragging rights, don't they? It's no different to any, whatever level of football. Your local derbies are always massive because the supporters come out and they want bragging rights at the end of the day. So look, like I said, it's been a long time since we've come here and won in the league. So yeah, look, our supporters are going home happy today, and that's what we'll try and do Saturday. But as it showed today, every game's tough. There's no easy games, and the local derbies are always tough, and there's never generally too much in them.
Chris, commiserations. A tough old game out there today. What was your take on that?
I think it's one of them. I just had a chat with a couple of people as I've come in from the dressing room into the bar area. I mean, for me, I think we probably just shaded the first half. It was evens pretty much, but I think you know the penalty miss, things could have been a little bit different. But I think we shaded the first half. I spoke to the boys. I was relatively pleased at half time. I felt we needed a few tweaks. I did feel like the wind was going to drop a little bit second half. And on reflection, I'm probably looking at it feeling that 4-4-2 wasn't necessarily the right formation to go against the wind second half, and maybe I should have changed it a little bit sooner. But those are those kind of conversations that I'll have in my head for the rest of the night and the rest of the week until we play again.
Yeah, you can't change it now, but I thought your side gave a good account of themselves, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's very few times this season where I've knocked the players for lack of effort. What I did say to the players at the end of the game was I don't feel like we've done enough to come out on top in the second half. So therefore, if we haven't done enough, then we don't deserve to come away with a point. So I think most of the neutrals would have perhaps felt that a draw was even. I think they shaded the second half and we the first.
So the penalty miss, the save by the keeper did prove costly in the end, although Adam Mills did his best in the second half to try and get you back on terms. Yeah, he
had a couple of shots, didn't he? I don't think Millsy connected as sweetly as he'd liked with either of them. So disappointing from that point of view. But we created a few chances and keeping the four up top or the four high allowed us to get beyond them a few times. But let's be honest, they defended really well in the second half. They had a good line and they won their first contacts when they needed to.
So disappointing for Seb, because of course he's celebrating 450 appearances for Leiston. That is something, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, that's in a couple of spells with us, and I think Seb's been a player that's always had my back, no matter what the circumstances. Throughout his time with me here, he's a fantastic captain, and he's been fantastic this season as well. And I think he's kind of relished the players that we've brought in to play alongside him, and he's having a great season, and kind of long may that continue, really.
Leicester manager Chris Wigger and Needham Market boss Tom Rothery, both with Stephen Foster for BBC Radio Suffolk after the Marketmen's 1-0 win at Victory Road on Saturday. Another all-county clash in the Southern Premier League that day ended AFC Sudbury 0, Bury Town 3. We'll have a reaction to that one during the final hour of tonight's programme. Extended interviews with Tom Rothery and Chris Wigger can be heard during this coming Friday's Matchday preview programme. That's on air from 6 p.m. as we look ahead to some more Suffolk non-league derbies this coming weekend. You're here with Match Night for our final full match commentary of 2025. The second half is up next. Ipswich Town playing well against the Championship leaders Coventry.
Nunez back towards Matusiwa. Clark's involved again. Greaves is the out ball. He gets it from Kipre. Wide left. In comes his cross. Not the worst in the world. Headed by Athon at the goalkeeper. What a goal. That would have been great cross in from Greaves. Matusiwa outside the Coventry area, goes back to Clark. It's goalless, running into the Coventry box. Clark's on his way, cuts onto his right foot and then shoots, blocked off. Might be a chance for Athon on the follow-up, maybe a chance beyond that to Eggerly battling in the box for it, turns it back inside the area. Nunez shoots, blocked off. Eventually Kitching gets it away for Coventry. Still second best. This is good from Town, but they have to score. Taylor still has it. Then he finds Eggerly. Good play from Jack Taylor. Eggerly skips away from Sakamoto. In comes his cross. Might be a chance for Clark! Oh, he's hit it wide, but that looked destined for the back of the net. I was convinced that was flying in when he hit it. What a chance for Jack Clark and Ipswich Town. Radoni to Mason Clark on the left-hand side for Coventry. Radoni, low ball into the Ipswich area. Well cleared away by Taylor, but it's pinged off one of his own players. Clark to Greaves. Greaves bursting forward. Ipswich Town on the counter-attack. Greaves has given it to Athon. Wolfenden gets back. He hasn't got the pace just yet. Athon inside the area. Saved by Rushworth. Off to his left-hand side. End-to-end stuff. O'Shea up to Athon. Athon controls in the centre. Gives it to Greaves. Forward come Ipswich Town yet again. Clark's in behind. The flag is stayed down. Wide left inside the Coventry area. Clark pulls it back towards Taylor, who hits the bar. Terrific save from Rushworth. Athon goes towards the ball. It's still alive inside the 6-yard area. Jack Taylor so close to his first goal of the season, but it's out again for another corner kick to Town.
The Night Owls is a surveillance unit.
Copy that.
You do not hunt down.
New series of The Night Manager.
I think Teddy has smuggled arms into Colombia.
That's your chance to be a snake in their garden.
Welcome to Colombia. You are not the one in control here.
Starring Tom Hiddleston.
Something's not right.
The Night Manager.
Why are you really here?
starts New Year's Day on BBC iPlayer.
It's a little after 7 o'clock on BBC Radio Suffolk. We are all set for the second half. Ipswich Town goalless away at Championship leaders Coventry City. Let's rejoin the specials. Mick Mills and Breda Wu.
No changes to either side, not a massive surprise as far as Ipswich Town are concerned. They were so dominant in that first half. Coventry, Frank Lampard hasn't made any changes. I guess he might have done, given they were so lacklustre and so under the cosh. So Town in all red, playing from left to right. Walton, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre, Greaves, then Matthew Siwa alongside Taylor, Egerly, Nunez, Clark, Athon. On the bench, Palmer, Burns, Young, Johnson, Humphreys, Kayuste, McAteer, Akpom, Philogene. Coventry in sky blue off to our right, Rushworth in goal, then it's Van Ewijk, Wolfenden, Kitching on a yellow and Brow, Grimes alongside Torp, and then it's Sakamoto, Redoni, Mason Clark. Wright leads the line for them. Wilson, Allen, Sims, Kessler Hayden, Bidwell, Latibaudiere, Eccles, Perry and Andrews make up the home side's bench. This will be a fascinating next 45 minutes plus. Let's see if Ipswich Town can get the breakthrough. That first half performance so richly deserved. That's 68% of the ball, 13 shots compared to 1, and touches in the opposition's box 21 compared to 3 in Ipswich Town's favour. But of course, as will always be the case in football, one thing will never change. The most important stat is that it's 0-0. Matthew Siwa on halfway through, a little gap to Clark in a central area. He had one of those really good chances in the first half, maybe even the best. Furlong down the line to Egerly. Ipswich Town immediately on the front foot at the start of this second half, testing Coventry once more. Egerly gets to the byline as attempted cross is charged down. Coventry didn't force a corner in that first half. This one's gone out for a throw-in. Town had 3 of those, so leading on pretty much every positive metric, Ipswich Town, apart from, as I say, the big one. Maybe that could change now. Furlong looks like he's got more of a run up this near side of the field than he would on the other, readying himself to take this early throw-in in the second half and hopefully continue Ipswich Town's excellent showing in that first period. In comes the long throw from Furlong. It's gone a long way, headed away by a Coventry defender. Redoni can't get on it. It's back to Matthew Siwa, the red number 5. Here is Clark. Clark drifts a diagonal out to the right hand side towards O'Shea. O'Shea heads the ball down into the Coventry box, walloped away off the left peg of Grimes, controlled by Redoni. Won't be able to keep it in play though. The ball rolls into the hands of Kieran McKenna, and Ipswich Town trying to set the tone early doors in the second half. Afterwards you'll get reaction to this game from Town boss Kieran McKenna, and hopefully an Ipswich Town player as well before off air on match night, as Town try to round off the calendar year with what would be a big win. Walton, left-footed, undoubtedly one of their biggest of 2025, headed forward by Nunez onto the chest of Egerly. In comes Wolfenden to clear out on this near side of the field. Town unbeaten in the last 5 final league games of the calendar year. The last time they lost their final league game, that memorable 5-3 defeat at Lincoln just a few days before Paul Lambert was astonishingly handed that 5-year contract. Crazy days. It's Brow with this throw-in for Coventry towards Torp. It's headed by Matthew Siwa back to O'Shea. O'Shea doesn't take any prisoners with that header forward, and then rivalry is renewed between Furlong and Mason Clark.
We get a better view of it this
will.
So it'll be interesting to watch that.
There's no love lost between the two, and Matthew Siwa having a little dig at Mason Clark off the ball, a little bit of shoving. O'Shea thunders the ball forward off his right foot, flags up against Athon. Free kick therefore at the back to Coventry. When that first half went, Frank Lampard would have been happier with the scoreline than Kieran McKenna. Grimes, such an important player he's been for Coventry. What a signing he's been, Matt Grimes, but overwhelmed in this one tonight as Nunez closes them down, catches him late perhaps. Free kick to Coventry inside their half.
I don't blame him for doing that, because I thought that the actual free kick that he took back to the goalkeeper was a bad one.
Oh, Rushworth through a little Cruyff turn to get away from Athorn. Coventry's best player so far, the goalkeeper. That excellent save from Taylor in the first half. Nunez to Egerly. Ball ping-pongs between a couple of players on halfway. Grimes then runs up the halfway line and gives it to Van Ewijk. Thought about going forward far side for Sakamoto. In the end, he's gone back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden with a switch, trying to get Mason Clark in behind Furlong. Furlong headers it, but Browse on the ball. Gets it to Radoni. Mason Clark inside the Ipswich town area, stumbles, gets back to his feet, pulls it back. A chance for Top! Blocked away by Greaves. Excellent defending. Walton might have been in trouble. Radoni brings it down. Dug out and away by Taylor. That's livened up the home crowd. In goes Furlong again on Mason Clark. Another meaty challenge. Both of them have gone down this time. Furlong the worse for wear.
Yeah, I thought Mason Clark was a bit fortunate to get past the defender in the box on that occasion. It wasn't good skill, it's just a bit of luck, but he got in a great position, and that's created Coventry's really only chance of the game.
Van Ewijk, number 27, in front of us. Winding up another long throw-in. Coventry trying to break through in the 50th minute of this championship game. Second best for the most part they've been. Forward comes Van Ewijk. In comes that long throw of his. Walton comes towards it. Got enough on it. And then the left boot of Eggley turned it away from any follow-up danger. Clark challenged by Grimes. Grimes loses out to Clark, but illegally. Free kick given the way of Coventry. Just inside Ipswich Town's half of the field. 5.5 minutes gone in this second half. You haven't missed any goals if you're rejoining us after half-time. Rushworth over the top to Mason Clark again. He challenges by Furlong, and again both of them have gone down on the deck. It's fascinating, these two. I don't know if there is any previous. I don't remember anything from Portman Road 3 weeks ago.
No.
Maybe they've crossed swords in the past. It's a duel worth watching. Furlong pleading, I think, to the fourth official, perhaps.
I think Mason Clark in that situation was offside, and that's what the linesman's given. But I think there was a foul by Darnell Furlong. But it's interesting what they...
Thursday, home to Oxford, then away to Portsmouth on Sunday. That's the next two games. Then it's Blackpool in the Cup the following weekend. Thankfully at Portman Road, with no risk of a replay as well. That one's to be decided on the day, as all third-round ties are nowadays. Radoni, too heavy a touch. Kipre deals with him easily enough. Little drag back from Matusiwa was risky, but Greaves was there to get it back to Walton. Wright closes down Walton. Walton left-footed, gets it downfield. Wolfenden wins a header. Mason Clark battling with Furlong, and again there's silliness afterwards. Forward from O'Shea, headed away from the back. That was Mason Clark being a bit daft with Furlong as they decided to get involved in a bit of judo rather than football on halfway.
Well, no, I don't think I've seen two players doing this, not for the entire game, and not really knowing why.
No. And the number of times both of them have ended up on the deck's been quite comical. Who will get the upper hand?
Well, I think Mason Clark is the one that's losing the head the most, so I could see him going in the book or actually going off the pitch.
Only Kitching has been booked so far as Greaves tries to roll Sakamoto. Physically should have the beaten of him. Greaves gets away, then goes down. Free kick. And a foul by Sakamoto on Greaves. Clark standing over this free kick. He was excellent here last season, Jack Clark, in that fine cup win for Ipswich Town. And there really did look a sizable gulf between Premier League and Championship on that occasion, but boy, have Coventry kicked on since. That was pretty much Ipswich Town's second string as well in that game. Coventry, the break goes their way. Haji Wright, edge of the area, left-footed as it go, deflected, saved by Walton. Could have been tricky, did have time to readjust. 8 minutes gone in the second half, possibly the closest Coventry have come to a goal in this game. Kitching to the left-hand side. Brow gets away from Eggley. In goes Furlong, and Furlong puts the ball out. Really went for that one. Cleared the ball into touch. It was a fair challenge. Brow's gone down holding his face. Wolfenden having a little word with the referee. Foul has been given Coventry's way. The attendance 31,213.
Thank you for your continued support.
Home fans clearly believe that something is brewing. Starting to get excited, starting to believe a bit more. Grimes, wide on the left wing.
This is an incredibly high line of town. Incredibly high line.
It is. It's almost 10 yards outside Walton's penalty area. Grimes on the left wing with this free kick for Coventry. 0-0 in the 55th minute. This championship match, left-footed, puts the ball into the 8 box off to our left. It's headed down, but straight to Walton from Kitching. No trouble whatsoever for the current Ipswich Town number 1 to deal with. So we're still goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. Still yet to see a goal in these 2 post-Christmas matches. This has been better viewing, though, a lot better viewing than on Friday at Millwall. O'Shea goes downfield over the top of Brow and Egley. In behind is Athon. Should keep the ball, in which he does. Now he's going to run into the area, but across comes Kitching, and that's another one that's gone high. Need a touch off to our right-hand side. Sims, Eccles, Allen and Latabaudiere, the subs from the Coventry bench down in front of us, as Frank Lampard, arms folded, just saunters back to his dugout as Furlong gets ready with the throw. Darnell Furlong with his throw in for Ipswich Town outside the Coventry box. Can they get the goal this performance so deserves? It's gone a long way, it's flat, it's headed away by Wolfenden from inside his penalty area. Furlong touches it back to halfway, and Matusiwa along the deck, he finds Clark pretty much on the halfway line, knocks the ball long into the Coventry area. Going to try to meet it is O'Shea. He can't do that, it's been well policed. It's out behind for a goal kick to Rushworth.
Well, I've never noticed it really about Coventry, but I do feel that Van Erwick and Sakamoto down the right, Angel Brow and Mason Clark down the left are very, very lightweight. You know, they've got no real power about them. They're very small in height, and I think it's a weakness, and I think Town have been exploiting that somewhat.
Cleared by Rushworth over halfway. O'Shea tries to manhandle right. Furlong knocks it out. Mason Clark nudges him in the back again. And still off the ball. Little nudges, little taps in the back, little shoves and what have you. Hadji Wright, the number 11, trying to smuggle the ball down the line. Matusiwa blocked it off. Cleared away by Taylor up towards Athon on halfway. Athon heads it on well. Nunez tries to get him behind. He goes down under a challenge from Grimes. The referee says 6 of 1 and half a dozen. Kitching plays the ball up through the centre circle. Van Ewijk's given it to Sakamoto. He jinks infield, left-footed ball into the box. Powerful header away by Kipre, out as far as Wolfenden. Athon tries to get the better of him. Wolfenden is calm and composed as ever, turns and gets it to Kitching. Kitching levers it out to the right-hand side. It's a good ball. Lovely take by Van Ewijk. Overlapping is Rodoni on that far side. Rodoni now holds his position and gets on the ball. Infield to Grimes, back to Rodoni once more. Coventry, of course, as things stand, maintaining their 13-point lead over Ipswich Town. If this one stays as it is, be a good evening for Middlesbrough if they can capitalise later. Wright gets the better of Egley on halfway, out to the left-hand side. Brow tries to play it down the line, blocked off and out by Furlong, who I get the impression is enjoying this battle. Casey McAteer and Wes Burns currently out on this near touchline with their bibs on. Brow tries to play the ball forward, headed away by Furlong, hooked halfway by Nunez, nodded down by Athon. Both sides losing possession. Taylor, though, gets it back to Kipre. In turn, he finds Walton. Walton clears. First time towards Athon. Athon heads the ball on. Nunez will go after it. Wolfenden will motor across the grass and get there first. And then Brow it is. It turns it back to Rushworth. 2 minutes shy of the hour mark. Wasted kick from Rushworth, straight downfield. All the way to Christian Walton, back inside now. His penalty area. It's interesting that Ellis Sims has taken off his tracksuit bottoms. Could be readying himself for duties up top. Kane Kessler-Hayden has done likewise. Long kick forward, brought down by Van Ewijk. And then touched back to Rushworth. Rushworth out to Kitching. Last time Town were here in the league, it was that almost iconic Cameron Burgess goal that gave them a 2-1 victory. Meant they just needed to draw with Huddersfield at the weekend to get promoted to the Premier League. That was a massive win that season. Redoni down the right wing, good strong running from the tall number 5. He's gone a long way, and comes his cross. Towards it goes Mason Clark. That was an important challenge by Dara O'Shea. The ball's come off of him. If he hadn't been there was every chance Mason Clark was going to score for the 4th consecutive game.
Yeah, it was a good surging run down the right-hand side, and then when the ball came in, it definitely came off the Town player, so I don't really see why they were arguing about it. Coventry have improved, but Town are still sort of not bad, so this has not really swung completely in Coventry's favour.
No, it hasn't. Town haven't gone into their shells or completely gone off the ball, or any other way you want to phrase it. They're still right in this and having a go. Coventry, as Mick has just said, have improved a bit. Grimes with a corner kick for Coventry, their first of the game. It's a good one, headed down by Redoni off an Ipswich Town player. So many of them, probably 6 or 7, were inside Walton's 6-yard area. It's come off one of them for another corner.
Yeah, it was a lovely corner, that one. It had plenty of pace on it. It was swinging, sort of curling in, and one that the goalkeeper can't get involved in. That's the first thing you do from corners, evade the goalkeeper.
Torp, the midfielder, with a second corner kick in quick succession for Coventry. They're only 2 of the games so far. We've just played an hour of this championship match. It's 0-0, and it comes from Torp again, a good one. Had to do it well by Kipre. Clipped back forward by Van Ewijk. Furlong heads it away, but Torp knew it was coming in his direction. He brings it down. Torp lifts it forward towards Hadji Wright. Furlong goes back, takes a smack. Coventry fans incensed that Furlong's challenge on Hadji Wright was illegal. Didn't look it to me at all. But they're up on their feet, having a right old go. He's public enemy number 1, Darnell Furlong.
Well, I wish he hadn't have done it. I mean, whether it was a foul or not, he actually made contact with the player and he was inside the box. So be careful, Darnell.
O'Shea, a little warning for him, maybe. It's been heart in his mouth moment, but he's all right. He's got away with it. 16 gone in the second half, so still at least half an hour's worth of football to play as Athon's turn, trying to find Eggley, didn't work out. Brow intercepted it. Mason Clark goes back to Grimes. Grimes forward. Matthew Siwa wins a good header. Eggley touches it in field for Nunez. Brow to Athon, accidentally to his fellow Spaniard. In goes Brow on Nunez. Sliding challenge, well won again by Coventry. A man's down off the ball. It's Furlong. Who else? And now the referee's awarded a free kick for the foul on Furlong, and this one's bubbling up again. There's a real edge to this game at the moment. Frank Lampard's bench is furious. 3 Coventry players surround the referee. Mason Clark amongst them. Furlong's off the pitch at the moment, off to our right hand side. It's a Town free kick when all's said and done. Really good atmosphere here.
Yeah, I think home supporters are pleased that their team have at least come out second half and are having a reasonable go at winning the game. I mean, I don't think Town are out of it, but it's changed from the first half.
This is what we expected. Matthew Siwa to Kipre. Kipre one touch back to Walton. 17 gone in the second half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Your thoughts welcome afterwards. Phone 0800 141 2121. O'Shea goes long, the ball bounces back to Rushworth. Athon goes down, claiming he was fouled. He's absolutely adamant. Nothing doing there in the eyes of the referee. You can text 81333, start those SFK, or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Again, pop SFK at the start of those. Flying down the far touchline, Van Ewijk. In goes Clark, down goes Van Ewijk. It's going to be a yellow card for Jack Taylor, by the looks of things. First Town player to be yellow carded is indeed Jack Taylor for that challenge.
Well, the crowd are really sort of getting annoyed about this. They're really incensed about some of the challenges going in, but to be perfectly honest, that wasn't a good challenge. He deserved the yellow card, but really, generally speaking, take away the noise of the crowd, and I think this has been a pretty ordinary sort of game physically.
Free kick that Torp will take. Again, a very high line from Ipswich Town. Numerous Coventry players temporarily offside. Wright, Redoni, Kitching, Wolfenden, Mason Clark. It's almost easier to tell you which Coventry players are currently onside. Free kick to Coventry, wide on the right hand side. long way from the Ipswich Town goal line. Torp puts it into a potentially dangerous area, headed on by Kitching. Wolfenden grows but not tall enough. Walton then catches the ball and keeps it in, does he? Yes, he does. Flag stayed down. Goal kick out of his hands.
Yeah, good goalkeeping again. He's continued his form today. I mean, he has been really good since he sort of come in for Alex Palmer some time ago in the season. I mean, he looks his old self. Very confident. Very clean.
Yeah, he is. I'm so pleased for him. Such a good man, Christian Walton. Kipre up towards Taylor. Torp goes after Taylor. Greaves to Clark. Clark infield to Athon. Athon back to Taylor. Taylor over the top for Clark. This is a lovely play. Great take from Clark. Clark across the face of goal. Too far in front of Egley. Unlucky. Really unfortunate that for Ipswich Town. It's out of play behind.
Yeah, I'd like to have seen that closer, because the challenge was coming in from behind on Clark and it seemed to knock him off balance a little bit, because I'm very surprised with how the ball went away from him. I mean, that's not Jack Clark's normal silky smooth touch.
Still goalless live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. 25 minutes of normal time to go in this game. Both managers will make changes at some stage. It's just when. Kind of got Kiuste, Philogene, Akpom out alongside McAteer. There's also a huddle of Coventry subs down in front of us. Taylor back towards O'Shea. There'll be many clubs come and had this approach and taken the game to Coventry here, and so on top in recent times, but still nothing to show for it, Town. Kipre back to Walton. Walton kicks left-footed, not very far, but far enough to ward off any immediate threat. Taylor outnumbered. Coventry come forward with Wright, blocked off by Kipre. The ball might squirt out to Redoni. Redoni on the wide on the right wing for Coventry. Redoni gets it back to Van Ewijk, infield to Torp. Redoni's back on the ball, far side. He's a player that can conjure something up. Redoni's left foot across towards the far stick. Mason Clark, well held by Walton again. Imperious.
Yeah, he's having a really good time,
isn't he?
Christian.
Really confident, really assured at the back. Obviously breeds confidence in those in front of him. Kipre, one of those players. He's on the ball now. Still more than a quarter of this game to go. It's very watchable. Greaves digs out a ball down the far touchline. Touched off of Athon and out of play for a throw-in to Coventry City, which will be taken by Van Ewijk. Not be one of his long ones, certainly not in an attacking area anyway. As a feature in the matchday programme today, lots of the Coventry squad, pretty much all of them asked their New Year's resolution for 2026. They're also go up, promotion, win the title, this, that and the other. His was promotion and learn Japanese, so a slightly different approach to that question, which was refreshing to see. Very random but welcome. Wolfenden drops the ball down for Van Ewijk, soon to be Japanese speaker. Quarter of the game to go exactly now. We're at the midway point of this second half. Coventry have the ball with Wolfenden, just gets it back to Rushworth. Rushworth short to Grimes. Grimes will left to Wolfen. It's poor, intercepted by Town. It was a mistake from Grimes. Athon inside the area with a chance. He shoots, and Rushworth just got enough on that to put it wide. Corner kick to Ipswich Town, but it could have been so much more.
Yeah, it's a mistake, big mistake. It wasn't Luke Wolfenden's mistake, but it was the ball attempted to go to Luke Wolfenden, which caused the error, and we seized upon it really well. Another good goalkeeping save.
Ipswich Town fans, over 2,000 of them, sitting behind the goal off to our right-hand side, looking down on Marcelino Nunez as he prepares for Ipswich Town's first corner kick of the second half. 23 minutes of it gone, 0-0. Low it goes into the Coventry area, terrible from the Chilean. And it's taken away from Taylor by Redoni. Redoni scoops it up into the Ipswich Town half of the field. And out of play for an Ipswich Town throw. One of the worst corner kicks you'll see this season, that one.
Yeah, which was a shame, because we had actually piled 7 players into the penalty area for that corner kick, which is a larger number than normal.
Furlong with this throw-in for Ipswich. Is there to be a winner? Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Sport. It's both these sides trying to end this year on a high. Athon, little touchdown to Egley is a good one. Egley tries to release Nunez down the right. The ball eventually breaks to Nunez. Some good fortune for Ipswich Town that. Nunez comes in field, slightly running backwards towards the centre circle, now motoring forward. Nunez uses the ball well to the left-hand side. Clark running at Van Ewijk, gets inside the Coventry area, into the middle comes his cross. No one can apply a finishing touch. It's out for a throw to Coventry at left back.
No, it was a good run. Good run. He got himself into a good position and he fired the ball across the face of the goal. We had two players in good positions inside the box, but the ball was quite some way away from those two players.
Throw-in left back to Coventry. Brow is going to be taking it. Preferred to Bidwell from the start of this match. 20 minutes to play. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Mason Clark goes down. Furlong dragged him to the deck. Free kick to Coventry inside their half of the field. And so it continues between these two.
Yeah, it's a wrestling match.
Redoni gets the ball down the left-hand side, tries to put it in behind for Wright. O'Shea steps in, gets it back to Walton. Walton shaped to go long and then goes short to Kipri. Kipri back to O'Shea. Town playing it around at the back. There is Furlong, just manages to keep the ball in. Back it goes to O'Shea, who clears it away. Grimes battling with Nunez. Egley heads it in field. Torp flicks it on, rather messy. Wright tries to bring the ball down to ground. He manages that. O'Shea clears up towards Athon. Athon gives it to Matusiwa. Matusiwa to Taylor, flying forward over halfway, the Ipswich Town midfielder. To his left-hand side, Greaves offering support from left back. Infield to Taylor, midway inside the Coventry half. Taylor to Nunez. Nunez touches it back to Furlong. Kind of worked it forward to the edge of the box. Nunez again, the layoff to the right, and Egley. Egley running at Brow. Egley low ball to the edge of the area, intercepted. Poor from the Norwegian. Mason Clark brings it up to halfway and right. In goes Kipre. Good strong play from him. Nunez has the ball for Town. He floats it to Clark. Clark brings it down in the Coventry area. There has to be a chance. Clark deflected. It loops towards the far post and in! Ipswich Town score! Look at the scenes on the bench, and it's no more than they deserve. It was a fortunate one in the end that looped into the far corner of the net, but off go the red shirts to celebrate with 2,000 travelling fans, and Ipswich Town deservedly lead 1-0 at Coventry.
Yes, they do, and that was poor play by Coventry, where they left themselves very, very lightweight over on the right-hand side. Clark had loads of room, to pick out something. It's actually taken a ricochet off of somebody. Not sure whether it was Luke Wolfenden or the right back. I'm not really sure. It's a long way from here to sort of see and say with any confidence. But soon as the ball cannoned off that player, you sensed it was going to loop over the goalkeeper and end up in the back of the net.
Change for Coventry. Jack Redoni is going off and is going to be replaced by Josh Eccles, by the looks of things. Great celebrations involving the players and the fans off to our right-hand side. Remember that bank of fans after that win here a couple of years ago, the 2-1 that took Ipswich down to the brink of the Premier League. It was spine-tingling stuff after that match. Goosebumps. It was a wonderful moment. Full-time whistle in that particular game. Won't be quite the high when the full-time whistle goes tonight if Town have won this game, but this would be a big, big win and totally deserved as far as Ipswich Town are concerned, but we've only played 73 minutes.
Well, it's been given to Jack Clark, so I can only assume that his ball was actually on target, but it definitely hit a Coventry player and looped over the goalkeeper. But if his shot is going on target, then...
Seems to have come off Wolfenden, apparently.
I thought
his 8th of the season for Jack Clark. He goes level with Jayden Philogene. As we keep saying, that's a terrific return before the new year. 16 goals from a couple of wide players. Top of the league, you're having a laugh, chant the Ipswich Town supporters. A win for Town would move them to within 10 of Coventry. It's still a massive gap, but keeps them in it to an extent. 16 points certainly wouldn't, but Coventry have now got to score twice to get to that position. Well, number 5 was definitely up on the board, but Redoni is still out there. I don't think Coventry have yet made that change. Egley down the right-hand side for Ipswich Town. to the overlapping Nunez, wide right outside the Coventry box. He gets into the Coventry area, low into the centre. From him in the way was Rudoni, up towards Mason Clark. Now Wright gives it to Rudoni. In goes Furlong. He takes out Rudoni. Didn't get the ball. Nothing in terms of a yellow card. I think it's just going to be a free kick to Coventry. Rudoni's taken a fair few yards forward, or wants to. But now the change can be made. That is it for Rudoni. We haven't seen the best of him tonight. He's replaced by Eccles. And I think that's Jamie Allen, who's a midfielder. Sorry, Josh Eccles is coming on, and Jamie Allen is coming on for Victor Torp. So it's Rudoni and Torp off. Eccles and Allen have come on. It was Eccles who had a terrific shot, saved by Walton brilliantly in the first half a few weeks ago. And he's got a couple of goals this season. Still no sign of Ellis Sims. Can Ipswich Town under Kieran McKenna secure a 5th consecutive win over Coventry City, who conversely, I mentioned how well Town have ended calendar years. Coventry haven't won in their final game of calendar year for the last 5 seasons. As Greaves is at left back with the ball, faced by a couple of players. Greaves gets the throw in off of a combination of Sakamoto and Eccles. Cameron Humphreys and Ashley Young, the latest 2 players to go out in their yellow bibs. Great to see Cameron Humphreys back involved in the Ipswich Town squad. Here's Greaves on BBC Radio. Suffolk Town lead 1-0. It's been an excellent performance from Ipswich Town. Just what the doctor ordered. Nunez to the right hand. Eggley left-footed over the top for Athon. Athon's going to go after this. Van Ewijk gets back and gets his body in the way. Athon slips. Van Ewijk still pressurising to putting the ball out for a throw to Ipswich outside the Coventry area. Athon's gone down, maybe with cramp, I don't know. Yeah, he needs some treatment for that. Coventry player Van Ewijk is obliging.
Well, that's just what we needed, wasn't it, the goal, because it was, we dominated the first half. It had become a little bit more even in the second half, but, you always felt there was a possibility that we could score, and we now have, and now really it's the mental side of the game now. We should now be sort of comfortable within ourselves to really see this game out.
Burns and Akpom coming on for Ipswich Town. Akpom obviously for Athon. I would imagine that Burns will replace Eggley unless Nunez has run out of steam, but Athon understandably getting no sympathy over in the far right corner as we look at things. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come after this one. There's the confirmation of number 31 Athon going off, number 29 Akpom coming on, and number 7 Burns. Great to see him back at Millwall the other night. He's going to get more minutes in the tank as we reach the end of this particular game, and he is replacing Sindra Waller-Eggley, so like for like in both changes. Next few games, we have a break in play. As I say, on Thursday, and it gets confusing at this time of year, Town have a 3 o'clock kickoff on Thursday, New Year's Day, at home to Oxford. Normal match day hours between 2 and 6 covering that one. On Sunday, it's another 3 o'clock kickoff. Town are away at Portsmouth. Following Saturday, Ipswich Town start their FA Cup campaign. Won a couple of games in the Cup last year, didn't they? They're at home to Blackpool, currently struggling at the wrong end of League One. And that's the first of 3 successive home games, because Blackburn and Bristol City visit the league. Yes, Blackburn yet again are at Portman Road. The obvious change for Coventry is Hadji Wright making way for Ellis Sims. Bizarre, because heading to this game, I think we'd have all said we'd have snapped your hand off for a draw from this fixture heading here, but now with 12 minutes to go we want more than that. We'd be a little bit if Coventry get an equaliser. Town ahead with 12 to go, play back underway. Taylor thought about crossing into the Coventry area. It's bundled to the ground by Allen. Had a play for nothing other than a throw into Coventry on the far side. See what it meant to the Ipswich Town bench when that goal went in. against Kayuste, out for a jog in front of us. Throw-in goes back to the left foot of Rushworth. It's 3 goals and 2 visits here for Jack Clark now this year. Ball in field, Coventry have the ball with Grimes to the left hand side. Brow, first time cross from him towards the far post. Up goes Walton, good hands yet again from the goalkeeper. Almost 30 years incidentally since Town last beat a side twice in the league in a calendar month. That was Leicester back in 1996. What they're trying to do here in the remainder of this game. 1965 since Coventry last lost to a team twice in the league in 1 month. It's happening at the moment. Clark to the overlap of Akpom, wide on the right hand side. There's only Nunez and Burns to hit in the middle. Akpom still has it, gives it back to Clark, not quite cleared away by the 26 Wolfenden, out in the far corner for a throw to Ipswich Town. Greaves is coming forward to take it. He's played his part in this performance for sure.
He's had a good match.
He has, hasn't he? He's done very well. But it might be needed if Davis has got what Smodix has got. He'll certainly be needed on Thursday. Greaves with the throw-in goes short to the goal scorer Clark. Allen gets in the way for Coventry. Van Ewijk tries to bring it away. Ipswich Town players all over him. Eventually the ball's out of play, but I think there was a foul before it was, so Coventry free kick. The only other team has a chance of doubling Coventry this season are Wrexham, but a scalp this would be for Ipswich Town. There's still work to be done at the moment at the back. Kipre and Furlong in charge of things. Walton left-footed pings his clearance up to halfway. Burns tries to get involved. Grimes plays it forward, controlled by Furlong. Final 10 minutes. Ipswich Town ahead. Nunez over the top of the left back. Brow. Burns has gone after it. Brow gets back, and under pressure from Burns concedes a corner kick to Ipswich.
Yeah, tried to be too clever, the left back. You know, he could have rolled the ball to his goalkeeper, but he decides to try and juggle the ball with his back to play. You know, not what you do at fullback, and he's given a costly situation away here.
Nunez in front of those noisy, happy Ipswich Town fans with a corner kick off to our right-hand side. Can lead 1-0 into the final 9 minutes of normal time at the CBS Arena. Plenty players forward, as you would expect. Only Matusiwa back in the middle third. Right-footed from Nunez. This one's got more flight. It's a decent one, headed on by O'Shea, but wide of the target. Rushworth gathers with a leap in the air, running along his byline. Quick throw from Rushworth out to the right-hand side. Van Ewijk, the full-back, had got forward well. Plenty players in the centre for him. Into the middle, he gives it towards Torp. Well cut out by Taylor. Good challenge from Taylor, which turns into a very good pass to Clark. Clark running forward for Ipswich Town. Akpom's in the centre. Clark still has it. Might go it alone. Clark inside the Coventry area. Still Jack Clark with a pullback. Nunez turns, controls, gives it to Burns, who makes it 2-0. Wes Burns! What scenes! Lovely placement off his right instep, low into the corner of the net, and a wonderful moment for Wes Burns. Back after 11 months out through injury, 2025's been an awful year for him, but he's ending it on an almighty high by putting Ipswich Town 2-0 up at Coventry.
That's fantastic for Wes Burns, it really is. It's great for the team, it's great for the club, but for the individual, that is unbelievable. He's had, as you say, a difficult 12 months. He's come back in. When he actually was put on, I was wondering whether it was a wise decision on a day like today, but he's got himself in the box, and that's what we know he can do. He always takes up good far post positions, and he can score. He's proven that to everybody in the past, and he finished that so comfortably. It was unbelievable, and good luck to the lad. You enjoy the moment, because that has been a big moment for you and the team and the club.
It really was. So many people's favourite Ipswich Town player of recent years. He's always in that debate. Such a wholehearted player who's given so much to the club. Had that nasty injury in the opening day last season, ruled him out against Liverpool, and coincidentally at Anfield. We hadn't seen him since then until the final 4 minutes at the Den on Friday, and he's moved Ipswich Town now very close to a big win with that calm side-footed finish low into the net, and the scenes afterwards were a joy to watch. Throw in on the far side to Ipswich Town. Greaves to take it. Still 6 minutes to go in this game. A Coventry goal now changes things completely. Ellis Sims into the back of Kipre's head. Huge win this for Ipswich Town, if it comes off for them. Kipre's staying down, understandably so. Why would he jump back up to his feet? He's not daft. All the noise coming from the Ipswich Town supporters. Happy again.
This is a great result. So let's hope this goes to the end of it. This has been a thoroughly deserved result as well. I mean, from that first half performance to just staying in the game, and then once you sort of got a feel for it, we've taken the game again to Coventry and we've got our reward. It's been absolutely superb, it really has.
Walton at the back, just what we all needed, particularly those Ipswich Town fans, many of whom have been grumbling despite the fact their team's third in the table. Great result this would be, as Coventry have a free kick just their side of the centre circle. Van Ewijk on the far touchline, ball down the line to Sakamoto, twisting away from Greaves, caught from behind. Flag goes up, free kick to Coventry. And it's going to be actually just a throw-in for Van Ewijk, which could still be problematic for Ipswich Town if they don't deal with this one correctly. Van Ewijk far side, the Coventry right. Final 4 minutes approaching of this game. Townley 2-0. Coventry with a header towards goal but wide. It was never going to trouble Walton. It bounced in front of Brow and he was heading from about 14 yards, so no chance whatsoever it was ever going to be a goal. It was off target anyway. So this would be an 11th win from 24 games for Ipswich Town. Clark is about to be replaced by Philogene. Philogene, a goal scorer in the Cup here last year. And the other alteration, Taylor, who's had a good game, but then they've all had good games, is going to be replaced by Kayuste.
Also in the 14, Jack Taylor.
Yeah, I think Jack Clark's had a good match, and I think that's why he was kept on past the sort of 65-minute mark. You know, I think Kieran knows that he's always carried a threat to the Coventry right-hand side, and there was really no need to put Philogene on early because it didn't need a lift out there. Now you would feel that the job has been done, so you can make the change.
Lovely to think that we might catch a word with Wes Burns at full time. Certainly here from Kieran McKenna with 3 minutes to go. Burns' goal has made it 2-0. Mason Clark over the top, Sakamoto's after it. Kipre has lost his man. Sakamoto trying to get into the area, is brought down. Was he? Nothing doing from the referee's perspective. No big appeals from Coventry players either, it has to be said. It's a good call again, Mr. Backhouse. Surely it was. It's down the line from Brow to Mason Clark, blocked off by his mate Furlong, who then shoves him to the ground just for a bit of fun afterwards. Mason Clark backed off where the referee wants to give Furlong a yellow card. That's his fifth of the season. A few of them have come in recent games actually. Darnell Furlong, it doesn't mean anything reaching 5 at this stage. You'd need to get to 10 before he served a ban, so he's all right for Oxford. Grimes with this long-range free kick, which Coventry will feel, understandably, they need to get something from, and if they do, all of a sudden this game's back in the balance. Town have got to have their wits about them. Again, they've got that very high line as Grimes with one hand in the air prepares to swing a left footer into the box off to our left, and it comes high. It's a decent ball, thick on header, then nodded out behind. Greaves didn't want to take any chances as he tumbled to the ground. Corner kick to Coventry.
Yep, well defended. At least we stopped them getting a strike at goal, and they've got a corner from it, but this is just good defending.
Corner kick to Coventry. Grimes, who tends to take all of their set pieces, is on it. A approaching the 90th minute. Town with this 2-goal cushion have got everyone back, and it swung towards the far post. Nothing comes of it, just bounces and swings out behind. Goal kick to Ipswich Town. Coventry City staring down the barrel of their first home defeat of the season.
Yeah, so it's a bad day for Coventry, and it's one that maybe they might not recover completely from it, because they have been so much second best today that it will take a good bit of management for starters, and some sort of strong minds from the players to get away from this performance.
This will be a 15th defeat in 59 games for Frank Lampard here, so a fifth of them against Ipswich Town. 3 out of those 15 against Kieran McKenna's Ipswich. Mason Clark loses out to Matu Siwa. Here is Eccles on halfway. He's got runners to his right-hand side, Van Ewijk and Sakamoto. He eventually gives it towards Van Ewijk, but easily intercepted by Philogene. Down the far touchline, Akpom. Ipswich Town fancy doubling Coventry City with 2 3-0s this season. Philogene into the box, tries to put it square. Cannock, I think the board is saying 6 minutes. Yep. 6 minutes of added on time to be played here. It's going to start with a corner kick from Marcelino Nunez. Town attacking the goal off to our right, still throwing plenty players forward. It once again. There's only Matu Siwa hanging back to try to stem any counter-attack from Coventry. Coventry have got all 10 sky blue shirts back inside their penalty area. Marcelino Nunez on this corner kick for Ipswich Town in the first minute of added on 6. Right-footed in, it swings, punched away by Rushworth. Might come to Kipre, shot deflected, then belted away. Kipre was unlucky not to score there, brought down by Matu Siwa. Sakamoto goes after him. He gives it back to Walton. Walton outside of his area. Left-footed, doesn't take any chances. That will go all the way through to Rushworth. Town have got through the first minute of the added on 6. Rushworth again with a kick. This one will hold up. Furlong challenged by Brown. Furlong's knocked to the ground. Free kick given against Furlong. His challenge on Brown.
I agree with that. He's deliberately taken the play.
Got to watch himself, Darnell Furlong.
He's ignored the ball and taken the play.
Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come at full time. Yours very welcome. 0800 141 2121 or text 81333. Start those messages SFK. 08000 321 333 is the WhatsApp. Again, pop SFK at the start of those. Grimes on this free kick again wide left for Coventry, and it goes to the Ipswich Town area. Again, decent ball headed away well by O'Shea, cleared fully by Nunez. Bouncing on the halfway line for Van Ewijk. He'll play it forward, headed square by Kitching. Chance for Sims, who missed his air kick on the D. Kayuste, Carmizalak to Nunez. Here come Ipswich Town on the counter-attack. It's 3-on-2. Akpom to the left-hand side. Philogene, who's offside. Oh, goodness gracious me. Lucky Ipswich Town have got a 2-goal advantage, because that wouldn't have been clever at all.
No, you shouldn't be straying offside there. We had such a clear advantage.
Could and should have gone through and killed off this game completely. Grimes on halfway out to the right hand side. What a way for Ipswich Town to end their run of 4 away games without a victory, hopefully. Almost at the midway point of the added on 6. 2-0 to the Tractor Boys. Sing the 2000, the rest inside this ground. What's left of it, a fair number of fans have disappeared. Rather quiet. Allen on halfway, tidy little player, goes back to Wolfenden. Miserable evening for him, facing his former club for the first time. Rushworth, the busier of the 2 keepers throughout, couldn't do anything when it came to those efforts from Clark and then Burns. Greaves, clean sheet will mean a lot to him in the team at left back. Hits the ball into the clouds and out over on the far side as the cameras head towards Kieran McKenna. Lovely to see Cameron Humphreys make his first league appearance in the number 10 position since Southampton back in August. I do hope he plays some more football wherever it is from January onwards. Cameron Humphreys. There's a Rolling Joy put in behind Akpom. He's only going to get a couple of minutes, but good to see him back. Coventry have a throw-in on the far side. Pretty much 4 minutes gone of the added-on 6. He's going to get the chance to hurl it back into the Ipswich Town penalty area. Van Ewijk. Forward he comes. In it loops. Headed away well by Matu Siwa. Allen gets onto it wide on the left-hand side. Humphreys goes after him. Humphreys gets an important toe in, prevents the cross. Well done. It'll be a throw now that Van Ewijk will take once again. He's jogging from touchline to touchline for these throw-ins. 90 seconds to go. Ipswich so close. Probably their best win of the season so far. Van Ewijk drying the yellow ball under his sky blue shirt, and he throws it low towards Eccles, missed by everyone. Eventually there's a shot by Brow. Town have too many players in the way. Akpom gives it to Philogene. Philogene clears downfield. Nowhere near Kayuste. All the way back to the goalkeeper Rushworth. Final minute of this game is underway. Thanks to Clark and Burns. Ipswich Town heading to terrific win at Coventry. O'Shea goes down, but out of play goes the ball. Throw in for Coventry. Are they going to wait for Van Ewijk? Or yes, of course they are. Fans a bit frustrated. They would have wanted Sakamoto to take it quickly, but rules are rules. It's Van Ewijk.
This stadium is pretty empty.
Van Ewijk with this throw into the Ipswich Town area, potentially his last one of the game. It's a weak one, chested down by Wolfenden. The shot from Grimes is travelling, but too many players in the way. Grimes then stabs it into a dangerous area. Burns with a header back to Walton. Important intervention from Burns, and that, according to my watch, is that. Ipswich Town are certainly winning this game as Walton bangs the ball high into the West Midlands sky. It's challenged for on the halfway line. Akpom heads it on to Rushworth. Lots and lots of Coventry fans disappearing as Coventry go long. Greaves heads it away from the back. Still the referee plays on, but no more. And Ipswich Town end 2025 on a high. They become the first away side to beat Coventry City, the runaway league leaders of the Championship, at the CBS Arena this season, and deservedly so. That was a terrific performance from Kieran McKenna and his players. They're beating the Sky Blues by 2-0. What a way to round off the year.
Yeah, this has been by far the best performance this season, without question. I know we beat Coventry 3-0 at home not so long ago, but I'm not sure that we deserved a 3-0 victory that day. But this one, from the word go, pretty much, right the way through to the end of the game, we've been by far the better team. Every single stat will read good, and it quite rightly reads good. The only thing was that there could easily have been frustration that crept into the team because they weren't really truly getting any reward for their really great play throughout. And you know, sometimes a team does get frustrated when they don't get the reward. We didn't get frustrated, and we stayed cool, we stayed calm, and finally got, you know, the opening goal. Jack Clark, I think, deflected off of poor old Luke Wolfenden to go in the back of the Coventry net, and then Wes Burns, what a terrific return for him, and 2-0 fully justified. I mean, we were streets ahead of Coventry, we really were, you know, and everybody's pretty much, I mean, goalkeeper Christian Walton, not a lot of saves to make, but a lot of takes he had to make out of the air. He was impeccable. Darnell Furlong, very unusual job he had this afternoon. He had a wrestling match with Mason Clark throughout, and I think he won that wrestling match even. And the back four play that impressed me most of all was Jacob Greaves going into the side having not played a lot of football recently, having to go in a strange position. And right from the word go, again, you know, in the first 5 or 6 minutes, taking up really high positions down the left-hand side and causing Coventry a problem, not only on the ground when he was able to get crosses in, but also aerially, because he was playing against a very, very sort of small in stature right-hand side, Sakamoto, and then behind him Van Erwijk. Whichever one wanted to deal with Jacob, they couldn't. So back four did everything right. Matasura had his normal good game, didn't do anything wrong, was constantly on the ball where you want him. Jack Taylor, now he had a particularly good game. You know, he did a little bit of everything and was the player that was most unlucky in the first half, with a cracking effort that the goalkeeper pulled off initially a fine save, and then he was sort of only able to put it on the underside of the crossbar. That ball stayed out and caused a massive melee there. So Jack Clark did his job. Nunez, who I've been a little bit critical recently, not really sure what he was doing for the team in the number 10 position. He's ended up the day with 2 assists, so he hasn't done too badly either, and generally his game was good. Jack Clark was outstanding for me all the way down the left-hand side, always able to pick up good, clean possession, never looked like having the ball taken off him, always looked like finding a colleague, possibly getting a cross in or a shot. He was good. Sindri Eggerly did his job, made sure he shut the left back in, didn't sort of have a successful game in as much as his crossing, his shooting. Azon, I thought, did a good job.
I did. I was about to mention him. I thought he had probably his best game for Town.
Azon carried a threat to the 2 centre-halves. He was timing his runs really well tonight. He actually looked quicker than the 2 centre-halves as well, so that possibly gave him a little bit of confidence, and I thought he led the line really well. Good movement, a threat, and that's what you want from him. So from Christian Walton, whose performance was really, really impeccable, to Azon in the number 9 position, faultless really. You know, the team were faultless, and the performance was faultless, the result was faultless. It was a faultless night.
You've enjoyed yourself, haven't you? That's what we like to hear. Right, I'm going to have a little word with Kieran McKenna when he surfaces down below, and hopefully speak to an Ipswich Town player, which would be lovely if it is Wes Burns, because thanks to goals from him and Jack Clark, Ipswich Town have doubled Coventry City. They might be the only team to do that all season. They've narrowed the gap between top and third to 10 points, and also put the pressure on second place Middlesbrough ahead of their game later on. Town have won this one by 2 goals to 0.